Okay, I would like to show you in a little more detail how I go about starting a painting and some of the tools that I use in doing so. This is a old painting that I just gessoed over, so we'd have a blank canvas to start on. A lot of times I use charcoal and just start with drawing lines. And I have some graphite sticks like this that I can also use. I've got several colors. And both of these things, you can use a gel medium to seal them if you don't want them to smudge, because they will smudge once you start putting paint over them. But I think today I'm just going to leave them. Sometimes you like them to blend into the paint. I've got some paint mixed up here. Okay, I'm going to just show you. You start putting some shapes on here. How that the charcoal mixes with the this is just white, and then the yellow color you see is that the graphite stick that I did there. I think we'll just make some random shapes on here. I also can use these. I have several tools here that I use. They're called catalysts. They come in, have different shapes on them. And while the paint's still wet, you can pull through and make some neat patterns or textures like that and be able to see what's underneath. I also have this little tool that you can draw, which does the same thing back into. Acrylic paint dries pretty quickly, which I really like. So as you're working, if you don't like a color that you put on there, you just wait a few minutes for it to dry and you can go right over it. So it's a very forgiving medium and leads to, not being so afraid that you're going to mess something up or ruin something, because you can always fix it. You can always go back over it. And a lot of my paintings will start out in one color palette, and when I'm finished they're completely different. So I never know how that's gonna work out. I don't start out with a plan. I usually just begin playing like this, and then sometimes as I'm turning the canvas later on, after I've got more layers and marks and things built up on here, a lot of times I'll see something in it. I'll see a figure or animal or something like that, and then the painting will become more about that. Or a lot of times it's just about a mood or a feeling that I get from the painting. Another thing that I like to use at some point is some handmade stencils. These are out of a foam, and you can just draw on the foam and then cut out whatever shapes you'd like. And I'll show you how that works here. Let's do a blue here so it can stand out. And you have to work fairly quickly with these because the paint does dry fast, but you've got some time to work with it. Just put it on there, roll it on, press it on. usually get a couple times out of it. Or you can go, if you don't like all that showing through, you can go back and within the shape and paint some of that in like so. Got a bigger piece here, so let's put that on there too. Just gonna bring it over here. Move it around till you get it to a place that you like. Some of this paint is still wet underneath, but that's all right. It kind of all blends in. I also have acrylic markers. These are Posca pens in a variety of colors. So let's see. Dots. You can draw lines. Off of that. On occasion I've made my own brushes out of found material. Like this is just some dried reeds or grasses I think I got from the beach. And you can dip the end in paint. And it makes totally random marks. But things you can't really plan for, which is kind of nice. Alright, let's get a little bit more up here. This canvas actually has some they call molding paste. That's what you see here, this texture. It's a white substance that you can put on your canvas before you start, which then dries in white, and then you can paint over it and you get a nice texture like this showing. Let's turn it around so you get a different perspective on things. I also like to collage. I would normally wait till things are a little drier, but I've got a whole stack of collage things here. These are ones that are made from tea bags that I dry, and then when I've got leftover paint from my palette at the end of a painting session, then I just make different patterns on these tea bags, and then I'll show you, see if we can find a spot that's got some drier paint. Let's see. use matte medium to adhere these. You can put a little bit down where you're going to put the piece. And then you just lay it on top. And put some more. I didn't wait long enough for my paint to be dry underneath, so it's picking up some of that. I think it's another way of getting some texture and things on here as you're getting started. Try putting another one of these on here. It's a little bit drier. It's better how it's supposed to work is that the marks only show when the paper kind of just blends into the canvas. I also have a variety of other tools that I can make use of. Things that I've saved, like paper towel rolls, lids that I can put paint on and stamp with. Foam things like this I've cut into. And anything I just find that looks like it would make a cool mark. This is something from the kitchen. It's kind of interesting patterns on here. Where you can paint the ends of these. This is just a piece of corrugated cardboard that I've used. See the marks that those make. A lot of these will be covered up, but a lot of them will show through in different layers. Scratch back into things. I also have a squeegee I can use and squirt a bunch of paint on at a time and pull down through. These are kind of fun. So, a little squeeze bottle that has a tip on it. This one I've got filled with black paint. I use this a lot, usually towards the end of a painting. I want to just add some line work. I have them both in black, and this is the white. So it gives you a little better idea of how I get started on a painting and some of the tools that I use. Check back on my website at some point and I will try and post this finished painting. You can see how it ends up. And thank you for watching and listening.